Hello, and welcome to the SCPa Works Workforce System Performance Accountability Training. Today's session will focus on WIOA common measures, Pennsylvania's performance indicators, and a high-level overview of data collection, verification, and documentation requirements that support accurate performance reporting. Pennsylvania's combined state plan encompasses all 6 WIOA core programs. Under 34 CFR Sections 361.130 and 361.143, the U.S. Department of Labor, DOL, requires states to propose expected levels of performance for each of the primary indicators of performance. These performance expectations apply to the adult, dislocated worker, and youth programs under WIOA Title I, the Adult Education and Family Literacy Act program under WIOA Title II, the Employment Service Program authorized by the Wagner-Pieser Act under WIOA Title III, and the Vocational Rehabilitation Program under Title I of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, as amended by WIOA Title IV.
As stated in TEGL 1016, Change 2, Program Memorandum, or PM 17-2, and Technical Assistance Circular, or TAC 17-01, Section 116 of WIOA establishes performance accountability indicators and performance reporting requirements to assess the effectiveness of states and local areas in achieving positive outcomes for individuals served by the Workforce Development System's 6 core programs. The United States Department of Labor, Employment and Training Administration provides detailed guidance across all aspects of state and local area performance accountability. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry Bureau of Workforce Development Administration establishes procedures for local workforce development boards, or LWDBs, to negotiate and reach agreement with the Commonwealth on local workforce development area levels of performance for the primary indicators of performance for Title I. Also included in the Workforce System Policy is an explanation of the criteria to be used in assessing performance. Local workforce development boards are evaluated annually based on 3 criteria as applied to the WIOA Title I adult, dislocated worker, and youth programs administered locally. This annual evaluation commences after certification of the annual performance data on October 1st, as required in Training and Employment Guidance Letter, TEGL 317. Results of this annual evaluation are be distributed to local workforce development boards upon completion. Commonwealth Workforce Development System, or CWDS, is the sole data management and reporting system of record used for all data collection and reporting related to all WIOA Title I and III, Wagner-Pieser Act, and Trade Adjustment Assistance, or TAA, activity in Pennsylvania. Local workforce development boards and contracted subrecipients are held to 5 primary indicators of performance as follows. 1. The second quarter employment rate reflects the percentage of participants who are in unsubsidized employment during the second quarter after exit from the program. 2. The fourth quarter employment rate reflects the percentage of participants who are in unsubsidized employment during the fourth quarter after exit from the program. 3. Median earnings are the statistical median earnings of program participants who are in unsubsidized employment during the second quarter after exit from common measures. Median earnings of participants who are in unsubsidized employment during the second quarter after exit from the program are documented and recorded as a primary indicator of performance. 4. Credential attainment rate is the percentage of participants enrolled in an education or training program who attained an industry-recognized post-secondary credential or certificate of completion of an apprenticeship or certificate approved by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania or a secondary school diploma, recognized equivalent, within a year after exit from common measures. 5. The percentage of program participants who, during a program year, are in an education or training program that leads to a recognized post-secondary credential or employment and who are achieving measurable skill gains towards such credential or employment. Measurable skill gains are defined as documented academic, technical, occupational, or other forms of progress toward a post-secondary credential or employment. The term exit is defined for the purpose of performance calculations. Exit is the point after which a participant who has received services through any program meets the following criteria. For the adult, dislocated worker, and youth programs authorized under WIOA Title I, the AEFLA program authorized under WIOA Title II, and the Employment Service Program authorized under the Wagner-Payzer Act as amended by WIOA Title III, the exit date is the last date of service, which is defined as the final day that the participant last received services. Services do not include self-service, information-only services or activities, or follow-up services. This also requires that there are no plans to provide the participant with future services. Exit from common measures occurs when a participant, enrolled in a single or concurrently in multiple partner programs, has not received services from any DOL-administered program in which the participant is enrolled, and no future services are planned. A system of record business rule is applied, and the participant is exited from all enrollments. The second quarter employment rate is the percentage of program participants who are in unsubsidized employment during the second quarter after exit from common measures. Take note that for Title I youth, the indicator is the percentage of participants in education or training activities or in unsubsidized employment during the second quarter after exit. For WIOA youth programming, the percentage of Title I youth program participants who are in education or training activities or in unsubsidized employment during the second quarter after exit from the program is recorded and documented under as second quarter after exit program data. The fourth quarter employment rate is the percentage of program participants who are in unsubsidized employment during the fourth quarter after exit from common measures. Note that for Title I youth, the indicator is the percentage of participants in education or training activities or in unsubsidized employment during the fourth quarter after exit. For the purpose of recording Title I youth education and employment rate, the percentage of program participants who are in education or training activities or in unsubsidized employment during the fourth quarter after exit from the program is documented and reported as fourth quarter after exit data.
Median earnings are the statistical median earnings of program participants who are in unsubsidized employment during the second quarter after exit from common measures. The total quarterly earnings for all participants employed in the second quarter after exit from any of the WIOA core programs are collected by a direct wage record match or supplemental wage information. In general, for those programs that are directed to collect Social Security numbers are collected for the purpose of reporting on primary indicators of performance for employment status in the second and fourth quarters after exit, on the primary indicator of performance for median earnings in the second quarter after exit, and on post-exit employment status for participants who attain secondary school diplomas or their recognized equivalent for the primary indicator of performance for credential attainment. Social Security numbers may also be collected for the purpose of reporting on the individual's retention with the same employer in the second and fourth quarters after exit. For median earning, the total quarterly earnings for all participants employed in the second quarter after exit are collected by either direct wage record match or supplemental wage information. The collected quarterly wage information values are listed in order from the lowest to the highest value. The value in the middle of this list is the median earnings value. This indicator includes participants who exit during the report period.
The credential attainment rate is the percentage of participants enrolled in an education or training program, excluding those in on-the-job training and customized training. The percentage of program participants who, during a program year, are in an education or training program that leads to a recognized post-secondary credential or employment, and who are achieving measurable skill gains, defined as documented academic, technical, occupational, or other forms of progress towards such a credential or employment. Depending on the type of vacation or training program, documented progress is defined as one of the following: documented achievement of at least one educational functioning level below the post-secondary education level, documented attainment of a secondary school diploma or its recognized equivalent, secondary or post-secondary transcript or report card for a sufficient number of credit hours according to the state unit's academic standards, satisfactory or better progress report, such as completion of OJT or completion of 1 year of an apprenticeship program from an employer or training provider who is providing training, or successful passage of an exam that is required for a particular occupation, or progress in attaining technical or occupational skills as evidenced by trade-related benchmarks, such as knowledge-based exams. All credentials and certificates must be approved within a year after exit from common measures.
A participant who has attained a secondary school diploma or its recognized equivalent is included in the percentage of participants who have attained a secondary school diploma or its recognized equivalent only if the participant also is employed or is enrolled in an education or training program leading to a post-secondary credential approved by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania within 1 year after exit from common measures.
The measurable skill gains rate is the percentage of program participants who, during a program year, are in an education or training program that leads to a recognized post-secondary credential or employment, and who are achieving measurable skill gains towards such a credential or employment. Measurable skill gains are defined as documented academic, technical, occupational, or other forms of progress toward a post-secondary credential or employment. We also record measurable skill gains for participants enrolled in apprenticeship programs. As stated in Tegel 1418, this measure of interim progress enables programs to identify a participant's achievement of training milestones during a program year, which is particularly consequential for longer-term programs, such as apprenticeships, that may span several program years. These milestones marking measurable skill gains include, as noted in 20 CFR Part 677.155A1VD, completion of 1 year of an apprenticeship program, as well as similar milestones. Other measurable skill gains achieved by a participant in an apprenticeship could include the following: completion of a front-loaded related technical instruction (RTI) component of an apprenticeship, completion of a semester of related instruction, or a scheduled wage increase commensurate with an increase in skill levels gained during an apprenticeship. The Participant Individual Record Layout, PIL, is the data layout that provides a standardized set of data elements, definitions, and reporting instructions that will be used to describe the characteristics, activities, and outcomes of WIOA participants. The Pennsylvania WIOA Data Element and Acceptable Eligibility Verification Guide includes the Participant Individual Record Layout, or PIL. The PIL is a federally mandated reporting layout that provides a standardized set of data elements, definitions, and reporting instructions that are used to describe the characteristics, activities, and outcomes of WIOA participants. The PIL provides a framework to help the public workforce development system meet federal reporting requirements while ensuring consistency and comparability. The Pennsylvania WIOA Data Element and Acceptable Eligibility Verification Guide establishes general eligibility criteria so that all eligible participants in the South Central Service Region must prove U.S. citizenship or proof of being eligible to work in the U.S., proof of age, and proof of elective service registration if the participant is a male. Although an individual's Social Security number is not considered general eligibility criteria by the United States Department of Labor, it must be verified within the Commonwealth as per guidance provided by the Pennsylvania Department of Labor, Bureau of Workforce Development Administration. Included on the Pennsylvania WIOA Data Element and Acceptable Eligibility Verification Guide are all acceptable verification sources related to each criteria category. All of the resources mentioned on this slide can be found in CWDS or on the Pennsylvania Department of Labor website under Workforce System Policies. CWDS houses a wealth of informative documents, desk guides, and how-to manuals. In CWDS, under WIOA Common Measures Data Validation Guide and Program Checklists, the Commonwealth provides 7 desk aids to ensure that contracted vendors throughout the state are efficiently collecting, verifying, and uploading or entering data into CWDS that is relevant to the performance accountability indicators and performance reporting requirements to assess the effectiveness of states and local areas in achieving positive outcomes for individuals served by the Workforce Development System's 6 core programs. WIOA requires all local areas and direct grantees of WIOA funding to collect and report information on all the participants described, as described in TEGL 1016 Change 2. Also in CWDS, under CWIOA Common Measures Data Validation Review, contracted vendors can find invaluable training transcripts that provide detailed guidance on BWDA review and monitoring activities as insight to expectations for local areas. Consistent, accurate performance reporting allows the assessment for effectiveness and identifies areas within our workforce system where we can make data-informed improvements, remain accountable, and ultimately support vibrant communities, businesses, and families throughout our region.
Title VI is a civil rights law that prohibits discrimination on the basis of race, color, or national origin by recipients of federal financial assistance. Police departments, sheriff's departments, and other law enforcement agencies receiving assistance from the Department of Justice, DOJ, are subject to the civil rights requirements of this and other civil rights laws. SCPa Works does not and shall not discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, creed, gender, gender expression, age, national origin, ancestry, disability, marital status, sexual orientation, or military veteran status in any of its activities or operations. These activities include, but are not limited to, the appointment to and termination from its board of directors, hiring and firing of staff, employees of all professional levels, contracted service providers, selection of volunteers, selection of vendors, and activities that involve the provision of services to eligible workforce program participants. Equal opportunity and non-discrimination policies within the SCPa Works service area must ensure compliance with the requirements of the non-discrimination regulations implementing Section 188 of WIOA at 29 CFR Part 38. Specifically, 29 CFR 38.11 states that a grantee must not directly or through contractual, licensing, or other arrangements discriminate on the basis of citizenship status. 29 CFR 38.6b5 defines that in addition to other prohibited actions, discrimination includes treating an individual differently from others in determining whether the individual satisfies any admission, enrollment, eligibility, membership, or other requirement or condition for any aid, benefit, service, or training provided under a WIOA Title I financially assisted program or activity.
Questions and concerns regarding this program performance training session can be sent to the SCPa Works Program Officers, Compliance Officer, or for an equal opportunity concern, please contact the SCPa Works EO Officer. WIOA Adult/Dislocated Worker, TANF Adult Training Voucher, and EARN programs. Judy Santiago, jsantiago@scpaworks.org. WIOA Youth and TANF Youth Programs and Non-Formula Funded Grant Programs. Shauna Ventress, sventress@scpaworks.org. Compliance. Courtney Day, cday@scpaworks.org. Equal Opportunity Officer. Whitney Matthews, wmatthews@scpaworks.org. This training video is accessible in the SCPa Works YouTube Workforce Development System Training Video Library. The comments section of this video contains a link or multiple links to vital training documents, additional training videos, and detailed materials that complement the subject matter covered in this training session. SCPa Works requires users to click on the link or links in the comments section of this training video to continue the learning journey and acquire an enhanced knowledge base of the workforce development system and the provision of workforce development services. On behalf of the staff at SCPa Works, we would like to thank you for attending this training session.